This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well, because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. It's the MFer Podcast, episode 39. Thank you very much for joining me today. As is per new protocol, which is me gaming the algorithm, this stream will be unlisted when over, but you'll be able to see it on the MFer Podcast YouTube channel, which is linked down below in the description. I've also heard it called the doobly-doo. And I was about to say that, and then I would have thought, what a douchebag I would sound like if I called it the doobly-doo. So it's in the description. So go subscribe over there, and you can see all these episodes to your heart's content, at your leisure. You're not restricted by YouTube algorithm gaming Matt. No, you can watch it unrestricted without any interference from my attempts to get into the YouTube algorithm's favor. Yeah. I actually started reading a book just this morning on this very subject. I guess Mr. Beast recommends it. Not that I want to be Mr. Beast, but I do realize I know very little about what I've been doing for the past almost 4 years. So I figured I should try to learn. Give it a shot. See what happens. I mean, if it's bad information, don't use it. But it might be good. Such a Dildo says, hello, buddy. Good to see you. Is that why you've put on the dress again, gaming the algorithm? I have not put on the dress. Well, I guess I did for the Pulp Fiction. For the Pulp Fiction sketch, I did. For the little short. I just thought that was funny. I was watching that movie, and, like, she's got that little smart-off moment with these two, and they're like, huh, isn't that funny? And then, like, 30 seconds later, they're pointing guns and robbing the place. I bet she didn't feel so slick after that moment. It was like, oh, no, I just smarted off to those guys. And I thought that was funny. I enjoyed that short. I enjoyed the sketch I just put out as well. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's when your liberal friend doesn't realize he's conservative. I thought it was pretty funny. I got some good feedback on that one. And it's actually slowly but surely climbing the algorithm. That's actually what made me start to inquire about this whole thing, which is weird. You know, at some point in the past 4 years, I probably should have investigated this somewhere, not just blindly got into it like, I'll figure it out. But I was looking at the impressions versus click ratio and trying to figure out what's a good one, how to learn all these little nuances and details, all boring technical YouTube garbage. Look at that. I didn't curse. See, I'm already learning. But I was like, okay, you know what? Enough futzing about. Enough throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. No. No, I'm going to be a professional YouTuber, like a real man, a real adult. You've seen it? That's not exactly a compliment. That's just acknowledging that you've seen it. That's okay. That's fine. I don't need to be showered with praise. Well, thank you for watching. Anyway, I hope you pressed like, and I hope you shared it on social media. All of you, please take this opportunity now to do my own marketing for me, okay? Do my legwork, because you like me so much. I'm just kidding. Senjadillo has liberal and conservative in the title. Algo gonna pick it up. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, it has, slowly. It's approaching 1,000 views, which for me is like 1 million for like a normal YouTuber. So I'm in love with it. It's great. It's exciting. It's like, oh, good, thank God. But then again, it's not exactly like I've had this endless output of just grinding. Like, I've seen some YouTubers where it's like I watched their video. I was like, wow, that was amazing. And I go see their other videos, and it's like, wow, 48 views. Holy shit, that's crazy. It's a grind, man. You just got it's like, Hail Marys all day. Just throwing down the field, hoping one goes in. That's not a good analogy. Hail Marys don't go in, they're caught. Anyway. Speaking of Hail Marys, holy crap. I know it's pretty much just Sentient Dildo here right now, but that Dynasty documentary on Apple Plus, oh my word. That is one spectacular piece of media, I got to tell you. Even if you don't like football, I bet you'd probably still American football. Hello, Christian Delorme's Vinyl Revival. Let's crack it. Good to see you. Even if you don't like American football, that documentary is spectacular. It highlights the ascension of the Patriots and their run into all their Super Bowl glory, but it also gets into some of the nitty-gritty. The Spygate controversy, Aaron Hernandez murdering a person, maybe 3, eventually killing himself in jail. They don't really touch on the gay lover thing, which I was kind of surprised. I feel like that would be worth mentioning in a documentary about a murdering tight end. But anyway, it's flippin' phenomenal. And I highly recommend you check it out, even if you don't like football. I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she was almost interested. Almost. She liked it a little bit. But no, I haven't seen Shogun. Oh, that's the one that you and Rockfan were talking about, right? Or maybe you and Red Shirt. One of the old boomers I stream with. Yeah, that's what network is that? Shogun. 2024 series on Hulu. Whoa, the ratings are incredible. Oh, it's an FX show? Okay. What are your impressions, Dildo? I know that one was close to your heart. And, was it Red Shirt? I think it was Red Shirt. It was like, if that woman kills people, I'll kill myself. Or something to that effect. So far, it's got a 9.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, audience review on Google is a 4.7 on 800 views. And those are pretty stellar responses, I'd say. Maybe it's really good. It's a mini-series, not even a running series. Okay. I'm curious. I mean, my dad, growing up, always had this book on the shelf. Not that I read it, because I am a Philistine. I play video games and watch movies. That's right. I just finished playing back-to-back the South Park video games. I hope there's going to be another one soon. There was the Stick of Truth. Spectacular. And then there's the Fractured But Whole, which is like their superhero one. Gotta be honest, I preferred Stick of Truth, but Fractured But Whole was great. I started playing the first one, and I'm like, I think this game's supposed to be really good. And it comes up in the development, it says Obsidian. I was like, whoa, they did Fallout New Vegas. I was like, I'm in. I'm already in. The gameplay's great. The jokes are great. It's awesome. It's so much fun. Both Shogun. FX Hulu. Okay, thank you. You pirate that shit. Oh, well, I don't break the law here on Foulball Productions. We're very law-abiding. Extremely law-abiding. No matter, I don't even speed. Nope, not me. I follow the law. Christian says, I watched it last night and it was great. Okay. Dildy says, only 2 episodes out. So far, it's good. Only I'm not a fan of the main casting mid-performance. Yeah, as someone who was an actor for a long time, I guess still technically an actor, right? I just acted in that sketch. I don't really consider myself an actor anymore, but I was for a long time. I don't really care. I appreciate brilliant performances. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like that's something I don't value or respect. Like when I was watching The Killers of the Flower Moon, I was blown away by DiCaprio. I couldn't believe it. I have to move one of my screens because it is really distracting me seeing my hands wave and just my hands putting myself behind the other window. But it was great. I mean, I lost that guy in the role. I couldn't believe it. It was like nothing I've ever seen him do before. It was so just so like different and low status, but he was so committed. Didn't lose a second. But my favorite show of all time, no secret, is The Expanse. And I honestly, all due respect to the man, I don't really think Holden's that great of an actor, especially when the drama starts going up. Miller! He pushes a lot. Miller! It's like, okay, to fucking tone it down. Use the thought. But that doesn't take away from the show to me. I just think not the best performance I've ever seen in my life. So, as long as it's not distractingly bad, as long as it's not like, how on earth did this person get the job, I can live with it. I don't need anything to be perfect. It's like I appreciate great performances, but to me, it's like rims on a car. Ooh, very nice, looks great, but the engine is what matters, and the car's performance is not impacted by the shininess of the rims, and that's what I feel about brilliant performances. Christian's got issues. My only wokish issue is that there was a female assassin going through the castle killing, but I don't know too much of feudal Japan. Me neither. There's a little bit of that in that video game. What's the one? Ghost of Tsushima. That comes out. There's a little bit of that in there. I don't know. It's almost like we've gotten so sensitive to things we wouldn't even have cared about 10 years ago. Right? Like no one watched Aliens and was like, what's with the chick shooting all the aliens? It should be a Marine. Or Sarah Connor getting all jacked and kicking the shit out of all the guards in the mental institution there. We didn't care. So I wonder if we're just like, here we go. There's a chick kicking ass. Because it's like, well, there are like UFC fighter chicks who would ruin my day. So it's not like it can't happen. But I don't know. I just, I'd have to see it in context. Because I don't necessarily hate it as a concept. It's just a little overused nowadays. And it seems to be an absolutely everything. And I'm not in love with it. But if it's done well, it's like there can be badass women. It's just don't have them like going, hand to hand when they're like a 110-pound model and the guy's like a 350, brute like animal who's like a trained assassin. You're like, okay, I mean, come on. Obviously that guy's going to win. Stop it. But Kill Bill, right? I mean, the whole movie is like this tall, skinny, blonde chick just kicking ass. But I think they did a great job of making her earn it, right? As a character. Like, she had to go through all that tough training. She had to learn, to suffer a lot, which is training for anything. I've trained a little martial arts in my life. Not a lot, but enough. And it's hard. And it's going to humble you quite a bit. First time I ever rolled jiu-jitsu, I was like, oh, I don't know shit about anything. It was so humbling. Because it's like you're in that mindset, right? You're a guy, right? You can handle yourself, I'm a pretty big dude. I feel like I can take. And then you're like, look, even if they weren't trained, like they weren't even good, they've spent so many more hours of their lives in these high pressure, tense situations than you have. So when you're in that situation and you're like going 100%, they're calm and they're peaceful. And you're like, ooh, shit. Oh no. I'm very exposed and very vulnerable. It's a humbling thing. So I think in that regard with that character, right, you saw she earned it. She really had to suffer and really had to grow into who she became. So I don't know. It depends. If she's a friggin' superwoman from another dimension with like amazing blade spinny ass kicking skills and all the guys are stupid and she's the greatest, obviously I won't enjoy that. But I don't know. I think there's a reckoning coming for all that girl power nonsense. I think the reckoning is here, honestly. Not even on the way. I'm not predicting it. I think it's here. Like that show, the new season of True Detective is just getting mauled by everyone. Like, I've only heard a few people enjoy it, but for the most part, everyone's like, that is the hottest of hot garbage I've ever seen. And it's all, girl power stuff. And the Madam Web movie, and I think as a collective, as an audience, we are over it. Over it. Female assassins make sense though. Sneaky shit as long as they don't go overboard with it. Yeah. As long as it's like not to stand in contrast with how stupid the men are, you know? As long as it's just like a good show. Holden was mid, got better later on though. He's really good, like he's good. I mean, he's totally passable actor. There's nothing like bad about his performance. It's just times where you're like, not the best. Especially compared to like Tom Jane giving a tour de force. I don't like that expression. It sounds douchey. When I said it, I kind of cringed a little bit, but really crushing it. You know, Tom Jane's killing it in that role. The guy who played Amos was really good. Drummer was really good. There's like, you know, I always forget his name. Ashford is great. That guy's an Oscar nominee. But I mean, just so many like really genuinely great performances. You know, it's like when a mid one's around, especially leading the show, it kind of contrasts. But look, I don't care. Like I said, it doesn't mean that much to me. I love that show for everything it is. And so I will never, it doesn't bug me at all. It's not distracting, definitely worth a watch. All right, I'll check it out. I'll take a look. I don't have a show right now. I started True Detective Season 3, you know, because before, turned out Season 4 was hot garbage. I was like, you know what? I love that first season. I was really hard on the second season. I never gave the third season a try. Why don't I give it a try? And boy, I just lost interest, man. I just didn't even care. I was like, I don't know. Whatever. Like, nothing will compare to that first season. Not even close. And I don't mean compare, like, even keep my attention, you know? Boring. Super boring. But you know, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm just looking for my new show. I finished season 1 of The Tourist with my girlfriend. That's a damn fine show. It's a damn fine show. I don't know what they're going to do with it now, though, because so much of the first season hinged on a mystery. And then they go, now that the mystery's resolved, and you're like, wait a minute, you're going to keep going with this show? Because like I felt like it should be done once you figure out who he is, and that's that. But I don't know. We're going to find out. We haven't watched the second season yet. You know, still watching Masters of the Air. That's a really good show. I like World War II stuff, so, you know, interesting. Me, a show just for me? I don't have one. So I'll check out Shogun. Why not? Might have to sail the high seas to get it, but, you know, we'll check it out. Christian, agreed. We are too sensitive about woke shite. But when someone rubs shit in your face, farts bother. When someone rubs shit in your face, farts bother you. That's a great point. I don't blame anyone for being cagey nowadays. You know, it's been how many years of this crap? Sacrificing all our favorite stuff to the, you know, on the these are cliches at this point, but on the altar of wokeness. It really was exhausting. I mean, it was just so draining and demoralizing and made me bitter and angry. You know, everything. You can't pick one major property that was like unscathed, right? Star Wars, friggin' the Lord of the Rings, you know, all the Marvel stuff, even The Expanse for a season, half a season, which I thought would be impervious to it. No, it was really brutal to witness, you know, everything just being massacred, thrown into this wood chipper of horse bullpucky. But I think it's over. And actually, that's going to bring us to our first story. Christian, speaking of reckoning, I saw The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. One of his best films was one of his first victims was a 90-pound high heel girl boss. I like the sound of that. Squinty eyes are a sign of a good performance. Didn't you know? We are in space, and there's things, proto-molecule. Okay. There's only one season of TD. What is TD? True Detective. Ah, yes, indeed. Yeah, I think you'd like it, Century Dildo. It's one of those rare shows that uses mystery and doesn't manipulate you with it. It just uses it as an actual, what's the word? Not mechanic, motive, no. Tool. Thing in a script. I don't know. It's an actual, just I guess mechanic is the word. To make the show work, like on the back. But it's not just like that. You know, some of those shows where they're just like, whoa, well now what? And they just keep using it and manipulating you along, and never actually give you a payoff. This does. It introduces a whole mystery, and then by the end of the first season, it's paid off. So it's like, okay, cool. You're not fucking with me. You're just using that as a mechanic. What is that word I'm trying to say? Trope? Using it as a mechanism. vehicle. I don't know. My brain's not getting the words right now, and I don't like it. All right, so back to the reckoning of things that Mystery Box BS sucks. And I agree, brother. Agree firmly. Okay, the first topic. So, Sweet Baby Incorporated. Now, this was all over YouTube yesterday, all over the memes on the weekend. But I think it's a pretty interesting story because I like what it is. It's different, you know. It's so basically, I'll give you the backdrop. So the backstory. So basically, there's this company, essentially just a DEI consultant firm, right? That consults with video games on how to make them gayer, essentially. You know, they go to these big video game producers and they're like, well, here's how to get your ESG scores checked. Put a chick in it, make her lame and gay. It's pretty much exactly that. And, you know, they can make it's like why we ended up with games like the Battlefield games set in World War I with like amputee chicks. And you're like, what? What is this? People of color, you know, like fighting in France in 1918. You're like, what the fuck? What's going on? Is basically why all this stuff happened. Yeah, Gundam's vid was great. I watched Gundam's vid too. It was really, really good. It basically, so it's like this company exists, right? And basically they consult with all these video games and they do this. And it's like, okay, like whatever. I don't like it. It is the times we live in now, you know? Gaming, though, doesn't really put up with that shit too much, which is kind of cool. And they don't put up with it so much that someone on Steam made an app like that will indicate if the video game you are considering buying was influenced by Sweet Baby Inc. or not. And boy, did the people who work for Sweet Baby not care for that. No, they didn't. They got super mad and started calling everyone racist and having a whole meltdown. Like Sentient Dildo said, watch Gundam's vid on it. It's really good. Gundam's very entertaining. He handles those subjects quite well. He reminds me of a less angry Razor Fist. Able to tackle an interesting topic, but with like good writing and like a well-structured video. So it's informative and entertaining. You know, best of both worlds. And they didn't like it. They melted down. But basically, it'd be like, well, why? I mean, you advertise this stuff on your website, right? Like, what's the problem? It's promotion, you know? Like, hey, Sweet Baby Inc. But the thing is, they know why, right? It's the thing about all this stuff. It's a backdoor thing, right? They don't want to acknowledge that they're doing it. They don't want to even acknowledge publicly that's being done. They want to just slip it in there, and then hopefully once they do that, the world, from their point of view, the world will then change to reflect this perfect utopia that they've put in. But if you acknowledge that it's inserted propaganda, well, that sort of deflates their goal of, I don't know, turning us all into genderless gray blobs. I'm not entirely sure what their end game is, but I know I don't like what they're doing. And so they didn't like it. But as far as I know, the app's still up, app still works, and I think that's radical. I think that's cool because people's responses I even see on Twitter, I still see some cringe stuff on Twitter, but I think people were just kind of like, yeah, all right, you know, like, oh, Madam Web sucks. Okay. There's no like, they ruined Madam Web. Like we're not even angry anymore. We're just like, this is going to end. We're just going to wait you out. War of attrition at this point, you know, you're losing. You're losing hard because, you know, once it got to the normies, once the normies started to notice and people didn't really, you know, people were just like, I guess I'm just not into movies. You know, they didn't even think it through. They just stopped buying and participating. All this stuff happened. I mean, there was this great development from Ron DeSantis in Florida, who I would describe as hot and cold, hit or miss. You know, a little touch and go, iffy. Anyway, he cut all public state funding for DEI, and immediately the University of Florida fired all their DEI people. Like 28 people, jobs just gone, not there anymore. It's like, oh yeah, if it's not state funded, there really is no point to have this, is there? Yeah, it looks good, but on the taxpayer dime. But if you actually have to shell out your own cash for this nonsense, suddenly we're not so inclusive, are we? Because those people are probably a nightmare. They're probably the worst people to be around. It's like working with like a woke Gestapo. You know what I mean? Just like making sure you're saying all the right things. Oh, of course, I always say the right things, give them a good salute. Um, I don't want to be one of those people who sensationalizes like little things and, oh, this is everything now. But I just think if you look at the collective, right, if you look at the fact that these movies are flopping, you look at the thing, like the point that like other movies are doing well, and like the canceling thing doesn't work anymore. Shane Gillis doing SNL, and they tried to bring up, TMZ tried to resurface other information about him, and that just went nowhere, and no one cares anymore. It just doesn't have the impact they had like a few years ago. It's like hair metal when grunge came out. They're like, "Don't you guys don't like Poison anymore?" It's like, nah, you guys are gay. That's what this is. It's just like people are just not. They're not doing the race game anymore. They don't care. People are over it. They want to move on. They know you're kind of full of shit. You see all the fallout with like BLM, like all these like, oh, you're racist if you don't donate to us, and then buy large mansions. It's all that. It's just too much information, too much fallout. Too much, lack of interest from the public at large that I just think like I just don't think it works anymore. And I really do believe we'll see things changing. I don't know if that means we'll ever go back to like good entertainment, but I think a lot of the noise is going to get lower. And then that'll leave the door a little bit more open for interesting stuff. And maybe we could even get to a point where, we don't actually like, because I feel like even the good shows, there's got to be like one wink, one little something in there, There's got to be like one little white guilt line or like one gay character or what. They got to squeeze one little thing in there, which we're all like, all right, fine, one thing, whatever. But it would be nice if maybe we could just get like an old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where there was none of that shit. That would be awesome. That would be great. So I love it. I hope that they, as the meme goes, cope and seethe, sweet baby. And I like that people are onto them, and they're like letting you know these are what these people are doing. It's like they're just telling the truth. They're not even framing it in a certain way. They're just saying this particular DEI consulting firm worked on these games. What's wrong with that? That's practically promotion. Because you know why? Because it's horseshit. Taxes are theft. Yes, sir. I love it. Absolutely. It's an interesting one. I mean, you do need a military, don't you? But I like the idea. I like saying something like that because I think it makes you think about all taxation, right? Instead of just a given, makes you like consider, why are we paying all these taxes? What is all this about? How's that Argentina guy going? Afuera! What's that guy up to? I heard last I heard, they had their first tax surplus, I don't know, ever in Argentina or something like that. I hope he's doing well. I've seen some people not like him because he's Jewish or obsessed with Jews or something, wants to convert to Judaism. And then I saw some people on the meme pages on Instagram not loving that. I was like, all right, come on, man. What, he's also got to be a Christian too? This guy is your hero. He's your Ubermensch, man. Let him play. I don't know. They didn't like it either. Hello, listless. Good to see you, my dear. In Canada, taxes aren't even indirect theft. They are literally stealing. Yeah, you guys, it's crazy up there. It's nuts. Canada's a wild place. For years, they were kind of oh, we're the sane America. And it's not anymore. Not anymore, man. Canada seems like a brutal place to live. Cold and really expensive, and Trudeau. That all sounds rough. Like that new Constellation show, you should see the makeup of the astronauts. Lol. Like that. Oh, it's not. I don't know. The Constellation? Constellation thriller series. Oh, with what's-her-face? Noomi Rapace. Yes. It's a psychological space thriller? Maybe. I like Noomi, but man, she has been thrust in our face as a girl boss for as long as girl boss has been a thing. And I like her. Don't get me wrong. I'm just a little, a little over it. But, reality is a conspiracy. Oh, dude. All right, I'm in. It's going to be about the 2020 election. I hope so. It's effing nuts. I'm getting this course done and seeing if I can leave again. Let's go. Come to Texas, OG. You know what it is. Oh, okay. Cool. Listless also endorses Shogun. That's 3 members of the Foulball Productions MFer Podcast chat that endorse Shogun. So that's a pretty good demographic right there. I would trust them. I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds dope. All right, so Sweet Baby. Oh, AOC. That's right. This is great. Here's another, I like this. This is what I would call the chickens coming home to roost, if you will. Okie dokie. We have video? Where we got video? Where's the video? I saw video somewhere. Come on. These are just still images. Hold on. I'm going to get the video and then I'm going to pull it up. I swear. Where's the damn video? There we go. Got it. Okay. Is there audio to this? Yes. Okay, this rules. This is so great. If you find her as annoying as I do. Which I imagine you do. Okay, check this out.
You refuse to call it a genocide in front of everyone.
I need you to understand that this is not okay.
It's not okay that there's a genocide happening. You're not actively against it.
You're lying.
I'm
You're
lying.
lying.
You went on TV and talking about it.
For what? Because now you can't say it's a genocide or what? You're deciding your political base.
Why don't you tell us how we're lying?
You can't call it a genocide. Then how do you say we're not lying.
We're not lying.
You've been
We're on
sending me
TV.
interviews. It's insane. You haven't been calling it a genocide.
Do you have any
You're
comments?
going to cut it, and you're going to cut this, and you're going to clip this so that it's completely out of context. I already said that it was, and y'all are just going to pretend that it wasn't over and over again. It's up, man. And
You
you're not
heard it on
helping
live
these people,
TV.
and you're not helping them.
You refuse to.
You're not helping them.
I like that a lot. That makes me feel really good. What's that saying? What's that expression? Play woke games, win woke prizes. I mean, this is what happens, right? It always comes back the exact same way. Once you start courting these people, eventually they eat you because it's never enough. There is never the most revolutionary, the most woke, the most culturally, it's impossible because part of what they do is they compare themselves to others. You've all seen virtue signaling to display how much more virtuous they are, how much more they care about that thing, right? And they run out of people on the opposition to consume and use as a mirror. So eventually they got to eat their own. And AOC's getting munched because she will not declare it a genocide. And I just really enjoy watching that, because she's just spent her whole life doing it. That's how she rose to power. Now she's there, and now they're eating her up. That just feels good, That's just a little gift for me. Just a warm little. It's like a hug, It's like getting in a jacuzzi. It's like that's comforting. That feels nice. That feels really good. I was thinking of her actually, and because I was watching Theo Vaughn, famous comedian and podcaster. His most recent episode of his show, excuse me, I have to clear my... He had on a former chief border security agent on his show and was talking about the American border crisis and exactly how so complicated it is. And it was really thorough and really comprehensive. And not a lot of jokes, Theo's a comic, but it was mostly just honest, reflective, genuine conversation about what's going on the border. And I remember thinking about AOC interrogating some guard, one of those guys, border guard. I mean, no, a person can't be illegal. And just being so condescending to this guy whose job it is to like keep this country safe, stretched so thin. She's like, no, it's the most aggravating. You just want to throw a chair at her. And then I was watching this video thinking about her, and then that happened to her today, and I was like, I just love it. I just love it. That's funny, Sinja Dildo. Astronaut crew, 3 whammons, 1 black dude, and a Rooski. Look, I guess you know what? As much as my prediction's saying it's on the way out, it isn't though, right? Because wasn't there that big controversy earlier this year with one of the major airlines being like, we want women in? It's like, how about good pilots? Everyone, like, I think even women were like, we don't actually care that much about that. I want to be able to fly to where I go without bursting into flames. So actually just the most qualified. If they're all white men, that's fine too, Like, I think everyone collectively was like, whoa, don't, no, don't do that. We've seen them drive, so that you can't have them in the air. That's a terrible idea. That's funny. Yeah, they when they're trying to do some like all woman astronaut crew, you're just like, would you stop? Would you just stop? Enough already, right? How have you not seen it, Matt? Get your medieval Japan on today. Well, I gotta go to work today after this beautiful, brilliant, fascinating, and insightful podcast. But I will keep it in mind. I will. I don't have a Hulu account. I guess I will have to sail the high seas. But I like watching it on my couch from the comfort of my living room. But I am curious, Is it in English? It's got to be. It's on FX. Yeah. That's cool. I'm getting lazy with subtitles. I used to look down my nose at people who, you don't watch subtitles? Fucking stupid American. But honestly, it's like a chore. Unless I really, really, really like the show, like Kingdom. But a lot of times I'm like, I don't, because you can't look away. You can't even like look away for 1 second. Oh, I'm getting a spam risk phone call. Blast you into space, spam. Yeah, I know that's lazy of me, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's only cool when I do it. That's my motto. People are done with this shit. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think we're getting there, right? I think rationality is becoming far more prominent than at least it had been for a long time. So let's hope that is the case, and it remains that way. Pray to God. I will not rest until we're led by a neurodivergent, disabled, non-binary, Native American little person of color. Oh, hello, Joe. What's going on, buddy? Take it easy on our fellow bartender, AOC, Matt. She can't help herself. Yeah, she's got about the sophistication and the political acumen of most of the bartenders I've worked with. So, yeah, I'm not shocked there. I swear, every bartender I know is like a socialist. I'm just like, could you stop being so predictable? Could one of you think? I want my heart surgeon to be an expert in heart surgery. I don't give a shit about their hobbies. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care at all. All I want to know is you're going to do the best job, right? You are the best for this job. There's no one that should have been doing this who's, a construction worker because they were the wrong color. I don't care about that. I want the best. F movies, Matt. Yeah, dude, I'm with you. F movies, bro. Until they stop being woke, bro. F movies and FTV. That's what I say. That's how. It's the name of a website. Oh, my mistake. I didn't realize that. Is that gonna get me flagged or something if I put that in? Is that gonna be like, you have done? How is something like this up? Well, I don't encourage anyone to break the law. So look into what your local copyright laws are and follow them to the letter. Okay? And you know what? Just to be safe, send Netflix, Paramount, Prime, like an extra $20 just in case there were some times where you made a mistake. Just give them some extra money just to be like, hey, you know what? You're doing a great job. I really care. LR. It's probably 70% subtitles and 30 without. They are speaking Japanese or Portuguese. Portuguese parts are English. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no. I was going to say, because of Marco Polo? No, I'm an idiot. That was Mongolia. Yeah, I guess because they had all the trade routes, right? Portugal, big seafaring nation back in the day. Okay, Right. Hence Brazil speaks Portuguese. History, folks. History. I got it too. I got history as well. So AOC getting cooked by protesters. That ruled. Okay, I'm going to do this one before I do the next one because the other one is just like, I'm like, that is the worst story I've heard. Okay, so this is not a good story, by the way, but I wanted to segue into what I thought was a pretty funny observation by, you know him, you love him, my favorite comedian, Ryan Long. Okay, come on. Okay, good. All right, so this, you might have heard about this story because this happened, I think, like last year. Oh, my God, the ads. All right. This happened last year. I think last year. Yeah. And it's a dark, dark story. So this is not a sunshiny topic. But drunk driver. So this woman, I think this woman, like, yeah, she killed a bride on her wedding night. And then another guy was, like, hospitalized for, like, a really long time. And I remember she had, like, no remorse, you know, it was just like whatever. So this headline, drunken driver hopes to be living best life in 2 years, despite facing 25 years for crash that killed bride on her wedding night, okay? And then there's, like, it's so funny because when you're in a bad situation, you're so upset and so distraught. But in the future, when you see your future self looking back at that time, wish you could tell yourself at that moment, stop freaking out, stop crying. It's going to be okay. You're happy now. And there's no point of being upset. Everything is going to work out. Well, not for that bride and not for that groom, you animal. You killed a person and then ruined another one's life with like a tragedy. She's like literally looking back. She's just like, listen, you know, it's exactly this Ryan Long sketch. It's exactly this sketch that he did like 2 years ago, and which I will share with you now because I can't even say it any better than this.
Just finished meeting with my ex-husband.
Oh, Miranda, I'm so sorry.
I guess he's still mad that I stabbed him and his mom.
Do they know that you had your reasons?
They caught me stealing their jewelry and I felt cornered, so I just started stabbing.
Stabbing your husband and his mom is what made you who you are today.
Yeah, I know it was a part of my journey. I guess I just have some internalized trauma because, you know, last week I stabbed Tina in the cafeteria.
Hey, life is too short to live with regrets. If you hadn't shanked Tina, you'd be thinking every day, what if? Now you shanked her and you can move on. You trusted a woman's intuition and you shanked Tina.
Yeah, I do.
Dude, like, they made this as a joke to exaggerate how the title is how women can rationalize anything. But they made this as a joke of the extreme. And then here we have an example of exactly that. Like, verbatim. She's like, you'll be looking back on this. It's like, you needed to go through this. You needed to kill that woman to find where you are today. How you can just, it's like, no, what? Oh, my God. It's just so, I mean, perfect. Like, I was, like, reading this article. I was like, it's exactly that sketch. It's exactly the sketch.
I do feel like it helped me get in touch with who I am.
Hey, you might not realize this now, but stabbing your ex-husband and his mom and then shanking Tina in the cafeteria may be exactly what you needed at that moment.
I know.
You know I drowned my kids, right?
What? You never told me that?
Yeah, something just came over me and I drove them in the lake and just walked away. Sure, they were screaming, but I knew that I just needed to focus on me.
Yeah, so...
Like, spot on. So spot. Like, that's chillingly accurate. I hope that they talk about that in the Boys Cast on Friday because that is, like, bonkers. How that's exactly what she's doing. She's looking at this as like, no pun intended here, a bump in the road. Like, it's just like one of those like missteps, you know, that you made a mistake and you got to kind of just push through it. And things like this happen to people and they grow characters. Like, no. You killed someone on their wedding night, you monster, with all their family around. And that guy's life is ruined forever. Everyone's lives around them, ruined forever. And you're just like, yeah, I'll be living my best life in 2 years. Well, I friggin' hope not. But with this justice system, who knows, man? Like, that's scary that someone like that is walking around, right? Because that's not like a criminal per se, right? It's not someone who's got like a gun and nothing to lose, or like a cranked out meth head or something, like who's just, you know, that's a person, right? Who has like a job and a car, and you might be talking to her in a bar or something like that. That's terrifying. No remorse. And this isn't even immediately after. I think immediately after people were kind of like, she might be in shock. you know, she might be still drunk and that's why she's behaving this way. No. She's had like months to process taking another woman's life on her wedding day and leaving that other guy like in a coma or like in the hospital. And, you know, I'll be living my best life in 2 years. Like, I hope you, by that, you mean you'll be on the electric chair and you'll be gone forever. That will be the best life for everyone else, I'd say. You friggin' monster. Ugh. God, horrible. We are living in a Monty Python sketch for real. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like Clown World for sure. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Oh, Sentient Dildo. You are not breaking the law if you just stream it. You're breaking the law if you share it, seed it. That still doesn't sound accurate to me, but okay. Still, I advise any viewer who is watching Foulball Productions to not break the law in any way whatsoever. Please cooperate with your local law enforcement establishment. I cried for weeks when I thought I accidentally killed my guinea pig when I was 13. Yeah, that's pretty traumatic. When you're a kid, too, though, animal death is rough. I killed a bird with a BB gun, and I felt so bad. I, like, hid the body. I was like, oh, no. Oh, my God, what have I done? I just felt terrible. I wasn't thinking it through. I was probably like 12, 13. I just picked up the BB gun, sighted up a bird, and shot it and killed it. And I was like, oh, no. What have I done? What have I done? Take it back, Lord. Yeah. No. I've had dreams where I thought I've killed someone, and I woke up with, like, that tremendous relief that I did not. Like, oh, thank God. It's like the best feeling ever. It was the best feeling to wake up and be like, oh, thank God I'm not a murderer. That's great. That's wonderful news. That is really lovely to hear. Okay, what next? Oh, right. The big news. The Big Mike news. There has been probably years at this point of speculation as to whether Michelle Obama, better known as Big Mike Obama, will be running for president in 2024, and she has finally broken her silence on the subject. And I here at Foulball Productions am proud to break this news to announce to the world that, in fact, Michelle Obama will not be running. She's not running. She will not be running for president. Okay. All right. Big update. Nothing's changed. She will not be running for president, to the surprise of next to nobody. It's a little late in the game. The election's in like 6 months. It's gotta be, better get moving if you're gonna do it. Yeah, no, she's not running. Okay, well, all right. I guess I'll go back to my life with nothing being different than when this article was written. Okay, cool. Big Mike's not running. Okay, that's... Okay. So weird. People are like, she was married to a president, so she should do it. It's a horrible argument. It's a horrible argument. I saw Bill Burr was talking with this real woke female comedian on Joe Rogan's election night coverage in 2016. And this girl was like talking about how Michelle Obama. And he's just like, could your husband just start selling out stadiums because he's married to you? And she goes, no. Why do you think that just because she's married to the president, she could do it? Just because she sucks the president's dick? I was like, yeah. Or just because he sucks her dick. Yeah. That is one of the funniest. I got to give it to the boomers on that one. That is hilarious. The right wing, the boomers, whoever came up with that one, Big Mike, that is a good joke. That one just keeps giving. And it's funny. It's like a fart. It's always funny. It's never not funny. It's like the Big Mike, always funny. Yeah, just even saying that again. Maybe chuckle. Big Mike. It's just funny. It's like a code, you know. It's such a good one. Such a good one. Burr has a whole bit about it. Oh, I didn't know that because I stopped watching Bill Burr stand up because he's not funny anymore. Nope. No. He let his own strong black queen kind of get inside his head, as near as I could tell. Because, boy, is he obnoxious now. I don't like Burr anymore. And that breaks my heart to say, because I love Bill Burr for years, you know. But no, I think, you know, he's pretty entrenched in that system. He's got kids. I think he just doesn't, you know, I don't know. I'm just babbling here, but for me personally, I just don't find it entertaining anymore. And I remember, like, when he put out a special years ago, and I was like, wow, this is like one of his weakest specials. And then he's doing this podcast tour, and everyone's just licking his balls. And I was like, this is not his best special at all. His best special was like 2 specials ago. This is fine, but why are you guys acting like he, you know, created... I use these in this analogy all the time. Cracked the atom, created fire. Why are you acting like he did something really impressive when he didn't? Yeah, I can't even come up with one analogy, so maybe I should shut up. I want to like him. I really do. He used to be one of my favorite comics, but he stinks. Tis an old, but yeah, he's cringe now. Yeah. An old bit. Yeah, no, I think so. I think he stinks, unfortunately. He's making Hollywood money now. Got to toe the line. Absolutely. I think that's that's how it appears to me. Just speculating. I don't care for it. He says dumb shit too. Like I heard him say like how people took Karen, the term Karen from black people, and I was like, what? That was like a black person term for like, you know, white women. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was a meme term for talking to the manager. And it was very much just about entitled middle-aged white women, always. But it was not about race. They made it about race, but it was never about race. The racial Karen crossover became a thing in 2020, but it was never a thing. Like that was never part of the meme. It was just like entitled middle-aged white women, which we can all relate to that. There's quite a few of them. And then they, you know, Burr's like, yeah, they took it from black people. It's like, actually, no. Black people took it from the meme community. So, cultural appropriation of the memeverse. All right, Burr? Get your facts straight. Get your facts straight, Billy. Hello, maybe human. You're here for Gamergate 2.0? Maybe, baby. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. I wasn't really into all this stuff when Gamergate was going on, so I like historically look back on it, which is weird because I thought the whole controversy was like basically game developers were sleeping with journalists to get good reviews, and then they were like, the whole gaming industry is sexist, and you're like, wait, no, that's actually not the story. Yes, it is. They're all sexist. Boys Club sexist. And then that became the story. But I think the original story was, yeah, game developers were sleeping with journalists for good reviews. Then it became all woke shit. I don't know. You know, it's like I can only take pieces of this stuff. It's just like politics, right? It's like I can't get invested in it like 100%. You know, people who talk politics all day long, I'm like, I don't understand how you function. I don't know how you blow off steam, but I don't want to know. Because if that's where your brain is all day long, like what are you doing when you're not there? I don't feel like you're playing backgammon or, you know, getting in the sauna. I feel like you're doing some freaky shit. Because that's a weird thing to be obsessed about all day and have no breaks in it. I don't know. And so I think that same thing about like any of this stuff. Gamergate, you know, Hollywood. If that's all you think about all day, I don't know, man. I don't know how you do that. I cannot care that much about anything to just that's my thing. Eesh. No thanks. But I mean, shoot, dude, I'm tired of the woke. I'm tired of propaganda in my entertainment. I would love to get some good entertainment back. So if that's what this is gonna expose, let's go. I never saw Karen as anything racial at all. Just very entitled women, not even white women. That's actually true. It really wasn't even a racial thing. It was really just more about entitled middle-aged women. And actually, yeah, ageless too. Just entitled women. I want to speak with your manager. That's where it came out. Yeah, there was all this, hello, Jake D, hail to you. Yeah, there was always the memes, you know. It was like when the Mecha Karen meets like the Mecha manager. It was all like, that's all it was always about. Then it transferred to racism, which it was never meant to be. Anyway, the Nasdaq's down. Way to go, Biden. I talk about it a lot lately, but my country is in a really bad place. Most of us talk out of worry, never used to re-politics. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's like I was thinking about that with some of my sketches, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make them so political. And I was like, you know what? This is where we are right now. Everything's political. All right, well, then it's on everyone's mind. I guess, I'm going to talk about it too, because it's on my mind. So I'm going to lie. I'm going to pretend. Am I going to sanitize this factory of brilliance that is Foulball Productions? No, we will maintain our integrity here at this operation. And by we, I mean myself and Luke. And of course, the wonderful supportive audience. All my friends out there. But yeah, no, it is really wild. Such a deal. Come on, Matt. You're telling us you didn't troll the feminist frequency channel back in the day? You call yourself a gamer? I just want things to be good. I just want things to go back to some way that they were, where we did make entertainment for men and we did make entertainment for women, and that was fine. And the girl entertainment could be as lame as you want it to be. You go ahead and ruin it. That's fine. I don't care. But they started to wait, these guys over here seem like they're having fun. They're not miserable about the plight of trans youth. Let's go ruin their day so they help us join the fight. Oh no, what have we done? We've created so many enemies. How could this have gone so wrong? Jake D. But yeah, you have to kind of decompress from that and switch off. Other things are important. Yeah, dude, that meme of touch grass, legit, touch grass. Honestly, I idealize this. I'm not going to even say I try, but I idealize this is the first thing I do is get up, have my coffee, and go for a walk. Get out of the house and breathe some air, hit the sunshine. I swear, you open that door, and all of a sudden, you just feel a little bit more alive, a little bit better. It's very healthy, man. You got to have other things in your life. You can't just be, because it's even if you're right, even if you're 100% right about this thing, you're going to die one day, man. There's going to be some other new bullshit. You can't just obsess about this shit. Do it. You care about it. That's fine, man. Spend time doing it. But I advise strongly it's not all you do, because I think you'll pop. I think you'll crack like an egg. You know what I mean? And no one needs that. Super Tuesday, Trump, primary elections. Let's hope he pulls it off. Go Donnie T. We'll see how it goes. I feel even kind of douchey saying that. Let's hope he does it. Come on, guys. Let's all rally together. I don't know. I like Trump. I hope he wins. But I'm not going to be like, come on, you guys, go out there and vote. Okay? You go do your duty. So lame. But yeah, that's happening. Like I said, I don't care. I don't care. Yo, what up, Zax? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Maybe human. The culture war is like trench warfare. You can't spend all your time in the trenches. Need to rotate shifts so soldiers stay sane. Yes. What was that? Didn't the Romans do a version of that to keep their soldiers fit? Right? So they would just go back to the line, and then they would stab, and then they'd go back to the line, going back and forth. So every time they faced a Roman, he's totally rested and ready to go. There's a name for that. Phalanx? No, I think that's something else. I don't know much about military history, guys. But that's a very loose analogy to what you were talking about. Alrighty. Okay. Not ready. Hail, Zax, give me a beer. That's what's up. There's this whole giant genre of games now called cozy games, like Stardew Valley, that just anyone can chill and play. I, probably years ago, would have been like, boo. But I actually really like that. Yeah, Phalanx are Greek. That's what I thought. Yeah, thank you, Dildo. There's a name for that. Does anyone know? Anyway. I appreciate that. The South Park video game is not quite a cozy game, but it has that, it's a turn-based RPG, so it's very mellow mentally, right? There isn't, the high stress, I was playing Resident Evil 2 Remastered. That is a stressful game. My hands were sweating. Not kidding. My heart rate would go up. I'd sit forward. The anxiety. I didn't like it. You know, it was gratifying and everything, but it was just like really intense. It's too much. I like that. I like chilling out and playing a video game, you know? I like enjoying it. I like being relaxed. It's my downtime. I'm almost 40, you know? I don't want my games to be as stressful as the rest of my life. I don't need that. I don't need that at all. I need it for fun. They call the running train. Women are not being left out of gaming, if anything, catered to more. Yeah, obviously. They just want a bigger market share. Why wouldn't you? Bring in women. And there are way more women gamers than I think there were, you know? And that's cool. You're welcome to play. And there's like room for all different types of games. I think that's great. Make them all. But don't fuck up the ones I like. Why would you do that? Why they all gotta suck now? Get out of my stuff, communists. This is an interesting one. Okay, this is all right. I'm gonna talk about this one because this is like the worst. I was like, oh, what a horrible story. And then I think I'm gonna get out of here after this one. Just like, oh my God, what a nightmare for this guy. Oh, God damn you, New York Post. So many advertisements. Okay. This sucks. This story sucks. Woman divorces high school sweetheart after he suffers horrific brain injury. Divorces. Now she and her new hubby are his legal caregivers. Oh my God, dude. Reading that out loud is even worse than when I read it the first time. Could you imagine that? You have a horrible brain injury. Your wife leaves you, starts banging another guy, and now they're the ones who take care of you? I just imagine yourself just like on the couch, like not being able to like move and just hearing her getting banged. Like, that is so horrible. Like, bad enough that happened. And then worse yet, she leaves him. Those would all suck. But then she comes back with the new guy. Oh my God. How does this... I was going to say, how does this guy not kill himself? But maybe he just doesn't have the ability. This is the worst story I've ever heard. If he's mentally cognizant, that is the worst story I've ever heard. A Texas husband moved in with his wife's critically disabled ex and devoted himself to helping care for him, even changing him and giving him baths. You think he kind of like subtly talks shit? He's like, oh, looking good today, buddy. And like jabbing him. James Armstrong, 36, married wife Chris in 2016, but the relationship came with an unusual arrangement. Chris, 38, is the legal guardian of her high school sweetheart and ex-husband, 38-year-old Brandon, he's my age, who suffered severe brain damage in a car accident 2 years after their wedding. As a result, Brandon was left with dramatically reduced mental and physical capacity, unable to care for himself. After years of caring for Brandon as his wife, Chris decided she needed to move on with her life, but did not want to give up on him, so she divorced him, then filed paperwork to become his legal guardian. All right, that's actually not quite as bad as it sounded just from the headline. That she, like, hung in there for a while and then was just like, I can't. This is, you know. Okay, I respect that. I'm less critical of that having read the context. That's not quite as bad. But that headline is trash. I kind of agree. It does sort of make it sound like she just left him the day he, you know, like while he's in the hospital, she just signed the divorce papers and started banging someone else. Like, that's actually kind of noble of her. She tried. When James met Chris, he knew Brandon would be a part of their lives, but was more than happy to welcome him into his life and assume his wife with all responsibility of caring for her ex-husband. I'm just not loving her. It's not just loving her, it's loving Brandon too. All right, buddy. He needed us. He needs people that love him. Together, the couple do everything with Brandon, from changing and bathing him to feeding him and bringing him to medical appointments. Chris and James are with Brandon every step of the way. This is actually kind of a nice story. Okay. Oh, God. Look at the car. Oof. When a truck plowed into his car, it wasn't even his fault. Oh, God, that's so horrible. So this is just like, oh, that's the dude. It is still kind of shitty to bring this guy around, though. Like, this is the man who's capable of satisfying my needs. Oh, should we wipe your ass? I guess we have to, because you're in a wheelchair forever. It's just so, like, he's, like, in shape, handsome guy. This guy's can't. Like, it's still pretty degrading. I don't know. It's a nice story, but there is a little twinge of like brutality that the dude still got it. He's got to watch and see the guy who's now plowing the love of his life. That's harsh. That's pretty harsh, man. I don't know. That's a rough one. But a clickbait headline. I never fall for those, right? Isn't that so weird that I would get duped again? Do they make him watch, right? What are you going to do about it? You can't get up, can you? Oh, God. How dare they, maybe? That might be the worst story I've ever heard or not. That could be. That's actually really sad. Oh, it's tragic. That's horrifically tragic. It is just weird, though, to bring the other guy around. That's just harsh. Do you think that guy douchingly whispers to your girl's pussy's fire, bro, to the ex? You miss it? Do you miss it? I bet you do. Oh, well. Here's looking at you, Chief. You want to get a sippy cup? Oh, that's brutal. Sounds like they did their best with a really nasty situation. Alternatives are worse. Yeah, I mean, the woman is not as bad as I would have been led to believe by the headline. It sounded a little more cold and callous, and she stuck with him for a while. It was like, okay, I mean, I'm an adult woman. I still need, like, you know, a man. I get that. But to bring the guy around, hey, look, it's Luke. Lukey, you want to say hello? Say hello. Come here. Look, everybody. It's Lukey, but here he is, being a mushkin. Hi, buddy. How are you? Say hello to the people. Hello. Look, isn't that a treat? It's even in the description of this show. Keep an eye out for Luke, and guess what? You get to see him. What a happy day. Well, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. A celebrity cameo from none other than Luke the Cat. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of the MFer Podcast. I really appreciate it. If you liked today's stream, do me a favor, press that like button. If you know someone who would really enjoy it, tell them about it. Share this with them. Do my legwork for me, please. Just kidding. But seriously, you know, it would help if you did. If not, you know, all the good things. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched the most recent sketch, I really appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance, please go check it out. I thought it was really funny. And as always now, this stream is going to be unlisted except for all members. But if you want to catch it or rewatch any parts of it, please go to the MFer Podcast channel. The link is in the description. Please subscribe to that. All MFer Podcasts will live up there forever. Hello, Luke. Hello, Luke. Hello, Ruben. Good to see you, pal. Good to see you. Well, that's going to do it for me, guys. I'm going to play you out on this. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is gonna sound